A sound check. Yeah. So, hope you guys can hear us here. So there's been a lot of protests going on since the pandemic. So many protests, so many updates that's been going on. Even some of the rallies that's been taking place, and people standing up against their leaders, trying to make change and bring change. And if this is the beginning of, what is Africa going to be in the next couple of years, and what has Africa have finally wake up to, okay? And we're going to start out with some of the update that's going on in Ethiopia right now. It's been a year already since Ethiopia has been going through a civil war government against the Tigray region. And if you guys remember, November 20th, 2020 is when the war started with the conflict in Tigray region, causing a lot of starvation, famine against the civilians of Tigray, and also dispersing into the neighbor countries of Sudan. Just to give you guys a little brief update on that. And throughout, the war began, and Tigray started gaining power and became stronger, forming their own military, taking on to Amara region, Afari region, and some of the other regions between there and Addis Ababa, and now they are close enough to Addis Ababa. Addis Ababa is strongly surrounded by the Tigray rebels. They are strongly going into Addis Ababa. Whether they will make it or not, we don't know for sure. It's still a lot of developing story going on in Ethiopia. But recently, just a few days ago, there has been a huge rally going on, and it's trending all over social media, where people are just going back and forth with their own opinions from the Tigray side, and also the Oromo side, and including the Amara side as well. The rally was a declaration that the government declared a nationwide state of an emergency. That is the effect that took place just a few days ago until now. To protect civilians from the TPLF, which has claimed by gains in recent days while floating a possible march onto the capital. With this state of emergency, it included an announcement from the U.S. Embassy on Saturday to order a departure of any non-emergency staff, including countries like Saudi Arabia, Norway, Sweden, Denmark, and some of the other citizens to leave Ethiopia. It could be a great warning. With this warning taking place, there's still a lot of unfold story of what is going to happen in Ethiopia, if they're going to a full war or full battle, to finally put an end into this war. And that was some of the chanted marks that have been made by some of the civilians that are in the rallies, with some of their flags and writings and things that they want the world to see and hear. Tens and thousands of Ethiopia has pledged a rally to defend the capital from advancing rebels into Addis Ababa against the Tigrayan rebels and to end the year-long war. Now, there's a saying that some things could get extremely ugly before it gets better. And some of the youth that are joining the fight are willing to fight in order to recreate a greater Ethiopia, or to bring back what Ethiopia is mainly known for in the past. The rally was held on Sunday in central Addis Ababa to defend Prime Minister Abiy on the conflict against the Tigray People Liberation Front, TPLF, and the allied groups. The allied groups, we don't know exactly who they are. We know the Oromo have their own military group that they have planted as well. And with this protest continuing on, is organized by the government, while also directed against countries who have called for into the violence. Now, with some of the things you may hear is quite odd, letting the abroad people know that the United States cannot be involved in this conflict. from some of the words we hear is, we don't need influence from abroad. Read some of the placards. And rally goers also held signs blasting Western media for broadcasting fake news, overstating rebel gains. So they felt like the news had influenced the rebel, and that's how the rebel have gained more control in what is going through right now, and is playing a part into the Ethiopia conflict. So they definitely, the rally is definitely also going against the U.S. Government and also the mainstream media out here. And some of the diaspora, the Ethiopian diaspora, who are also influenced into this conflict as well. You may hear one of the harshest international critics of the war is to stop sucking our blood. Now, whether the United States has a say in this conflict, or they have been involved, or they are behind the conflict that is taking place, the people are calling out for it and calling the United States to stay out of the Ethiopian conflict. Otherwise, is gaining more power and control to the rebel groups to take over Ethiopia. More updates to come, and this is something to keep an eye on in the next coming days and weeks on what happens in Ethiopia as well. All right, looks like we may have a caller. We don't know if the caller is going to come in. Now, going on to the next topic, we're going to talk about the U.S. border crisis, where it is at right now at the moment, from some of the things that have been exposed through social media in the last few months. Some of the broadcast major platform, they went undercover and did a drone video where you will see a lot of refugees that are under the bridge on the border of Texas, and they are kept there and away from the traffic, or for regular American citizens to even see the refugees there and what is going on. According to now in 2021, in some of the numbers that we have, the largest source of migration was Mexico, with the Border Patrol arresting more than 608,000 Mexican nationals. The largest category was others. Anyone from Mexico or Central America. It includes Cubans, Haitians, Brazilians, Venezuelans, Ecuadors, which accounted for about 367,000 arrests. Central America migrant arrests include Honduras, about 305,000, and Guatemala, 279,000, and El Salvador, 96,000. A lot of these migrants have been arrested and sent back to their countries. Now, where in some of the cases, some of these refugees have sponsors, and they have been flown out to their sponsors or those that decide to take them in, and to seek asylum as well into the United States. Some of the cons that we hear from the border crisis is, as we know, United States is a flourished country. Many people will do whatever they can to cross the border and to get into the border. With the new administration, with the wall not continue to being built, many refugees and from across the country are seeking their way to come into the United States, and currently at the Texas border. Now, the bad side of what is going on there as well is a lot of these crises, they're going through some of the hard challenges like human trafficking, and also dealing with the cartels, and of course the separation between the parents and the children as well. With some of the unexplained mysteries that has been taking place, is children being separated from their family and to be flown into New York in the middle of the night. And these children are sponsored by these private, which are the NGOs, non-government organizations that sponsor some of these refugees, and they get taken to them. And there's not a clear detail in how they start their life or what goes on there, but there are some of the stories that you may hear from some of these refugees warning their families not to come to the border with some of the tragedies that they are facing as well. So whether there are pros and cons to everything that goes on, these are what some of the refugees are going through, and is what's currently happening right now in the U.S. border crisis as well. So that's the update I want to give you all on what is going on in Africa and around the world in the diaspora region. To go on to some of the announcement that I would like to share with you all is, as we continue to go forward through all of the crises we have been in the world with the pandemic, the inflation, the cost going up, and also poverty on the rise, things that are happening in the United States, which is currently turning the country in a way that we either didn't expect it, or some of us, a lot of us did not expect it, or some of us did expect it to happen due to the conflicts of what is going on around the world. And as people, or as a civilian or citizens of the United States, is how we could continue to thrive out of it and to support one another, and how we can make these changes to make it better again. Will freedom of speech will ever come back into the United States? Will we get drafted into further surveillance and strict and things that are changing in our daily lives, even our work environments, where there's much more control? Even some may feel, in some cases, that you're not trusted in your own will as an adult to take responsibilities and to take care of your own life, or to be able to just do your job at work and not being and not having your boss, constantly on your neck or watching you and things like that. And also what is going on with the racism in the country, how far it has come, and the argument between white privileges, Black Lives Matter, things that are rising back up right now at this point. The 2022 election is around the corner, so it's going to be another moment where you will see a lot of these rise back up again into the United States, including race critical theory, things that are being taught in school, what is going on with the children in school. So these are a lot of things to think over. How drastic our country has changed from the last 3 years ago until now. This shows us that things could change really fast. And if it's going downhill, things can pick back up really fast as well. That is our update we want to share with you today. And stay blessed and have a wonderful week. Good night.